On the other side, the focus shifts to US President Donald Trump's much-touted Board of Peace. Seen as Trump's private and parallel United Nations, today the body formally took shape in Davos. The initiative, which originated as Gaza Peace Push, has been rebranded with its scope going global. Countries like Norway, Sweden and France have declined the invitation from President Trump. China has outrightly rejected the offer. Russia seems to be ambivalent, and India has decided to wait and watch. Significantly, the permanent membership to the Trump Club carries a price tag of $1 billion, and yet Pakistan has agreed to join just days after seeking $2.5 billion rollover in debt. The inclusion of terror sponsor on so-called peace board puts another serious question mark on its credibility, with countries that backed Pakistan during Operation Sindoor, Turkey, Azerbaijan also being on the board. The question now is, what should India do?
We have one of the most important meetings of all, the official formation of what is known as the Board of Peace. We have peace in the Middle East. Nobody thought that was possible. We've settled 8 wars, and I believe another one's coming pretty soon. Today, the world is richer, safer, and much more peaceful than it was just 1 year ago. We put out all those fires. We were very happy to stop the war that had started with India and Pakistan, 2 nuclear nations.
You're watching the News Hour at 9, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining Anand Ranganathan is Sushant Sareen, Senior Fellow at the ORF, Sanjay Jha, author, Dr. Suman C. Raman, political analyst. And Sushant Sareen, it is to you that I ask, what should India do?
Navika, one, our decisions cannot be made, foreign policy decisions cannot be made on the basis of what enemy countries do or do not do, what club they join and they do not join. If we have to join this particular organization, whatever it is, we still don't know what the structure of this organization is, how it's going to function, what is the framework within which it will function. There is no clarity. Now, just because Pakistan goes and joins, because Pakistan will, if Donald Trump was to ask Asim Munir to take his pants off in the main stage of Davos, Asim Munir will do that. So are we going to follow Asim Munir on everything he does to please Donald Trump? No, we are not. I'm not even going to talk about Shahbaz Sharif because he's a chapadasi. Right? So we have to take a decision whether we have to join this or not on the basis of whether it serves any of our interests or not, or whether we think, look, if we think that, yes, this will have something in store for us, this will give us a seat on a high table, and this is a new superstructure which is being built, maybe as a counter to the UN, who knows? We don't know all of that. But if we come to the conclusion that there's no harm in going and joining an organization like this, we can append our signatures to it. We can sit out there and then we can decide whether we want to pay the $1 billion or not.
Early movers will have an advantage if this formation becomes an important formation in the future. Sanjay Jha, India will have to look at it, because the world as we knew it really doesn't exist anymore. Since 2025, 20th of January, all the regular definitions have been, outdated. It's a new world order. It's still developing. The United Nations has actually let down expectations, and therefore there can't be a vacuum. Is this the replacement? Should India keep its doors open and options open?
Navika, first and foremost, I'm very glad you're discussing a very serious subject. One, because I think you're seeing America under Donald Trump trying to be literally the unipolar superpower of the world, dismantling all international institutions. I would disagree with Sushant completely, because India, in my opinion, I hope Mr. Modi's government does not even contemplate flirting at the periphery with this absolutely immoral enterprise. And I'll tell you why. Gaza, according to Donald Trump, has not been nothing other than a real estate extension of his Manhattan skyscrapers. That's how he's looked at it, the French Riviera. He's got his own family interested. He's got Tony Blair co-opted to make Gaza into some kind of a Western seaside resort. Absolutely complete contempt for the Palestinian aspiration. The second point is very crucial. Donald Trump in this, I consider this the most stupid experiment imaginable post-World War II, is hyphenating India with Pakistan. To me, that is the ultimate embarrassment that we cannot embrace.
But ask Mr. Jairam Ramesh, who's quoting Donald Trump morning, evening and night 70 times at the last coin. The only people who parrot Trump as much as Trump himself is the Congress party. So Sumant Siraman, you know, while it was started and mooted as a Gaza peace board, it's already developed into something much more. It is a overall peace board. We don't know what form it's going to take. Where do you think India should stand? Should we preclude ourselves just like we did in the UN Security Council, ages ago, decades ago, and gave that on a platter to other countries like China? Should we make the same mistake again, or at least put our foot in the door?
Navika, two things. First of all, there is no major hurry or urgency. For instance, we've seen UK today saying that they are studying the matter and they will come back in due course, and they have not ruled out joining, but they are not joining right now. The entire EU, except Hungary, nobody has joined. So I think that China has not joined. So I think that large sections of the world have not signed up. If you look at the list of 19 odd countries who have signed up today, many of them are, sort of American protectorates in the Middle East, or, dictatorships run by various people, or failed states like Pakistan. Now, my urgent question on this is, will Pakistan approach the IMF for a loan for this $1 billion to pay for the entry? Now, that's my serious doubt, because, I mean, where will they go for $1 billion to pay for this membership? But on a serious note, Navika, I think that rushing into this may not be a great idea. This at the moment seems to be nothing more than a massage Trump's ego club, which at the moment these countries are willing to do. Many of them,
at the moment, that is what the world order has come down to. Massage Trump ego world order.
At some point, that will stop. And I think that, Greenland, for instance, was one example. Today, the Danish Prime Minister has released a clear statement saying NATO has got no business to barter away our sovereignty. So I think that people are sort of realizing that appeasement is not going to get them very far. And it has taken a year for people to get here, particularly Western Europe, who kept appeasing, hoping that, if you appease him, he will at some point be satisfied. Now that they've realized that that's not going to happen, I think some of them are starting to put their foot down. We've seen France do that. We've seen Germany saying they don't intend to join. So
all right, but Sanjay Jha still has a worry. What's your worry, Sanjay?
Navika, I think first and foremost, this entire concept created by Donald Trump is based on illegality, is immoral, is unprincipled. America cannot override the United Nations, no matter how feeble it's become. And let us not be oblivious of one reality. Donald Trump has got 3 years to go, and we need to exercise patience here. Donald Trump's so-called disorder is not going to be permanent. The world will move on post Donald Trump. The next 3 years are going to be turbulent.
But will the Congress allow India to move on if it doesn't take its decision today? Because the Congress at the moment has a free hand, Anand Ranganathan. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, because unko to sirf criticize karna hai. They have to just pick up and say everything that Modi has done is wrong. Easier to say that?
No, two issues very quickly. First of all, for someone to say that Donald Trump is the problem could not be more wrong. He is the symptom, not the disease. The disease is unilateralism that America has been practicing for 70, 80 years. For America, UN doesn't matter. I mean, I go back to the Iraq war and weapons of mass destruction. Every step of America has been taken without thinking about any other country. Number two, I think we should join simply because A, we are Israel's friend. end. And number two, it is a golden chance for us to tell the Palestinian people, stop supporting terrorism. Stop supporting Hamas and electing them democratically. And to tell the Indian Muslims, stop supporting the people who perpetrate genocide on Israel. The other way around. So it is for us to clear the air. It is for us to ensure the development of Gaza like every other person on this earth. The Gazans also deserve a democracy. They also deserve to live in peace, not to be dictated.
But isn't that absolutely contradictory? And Sushant Sareen, I want to ask you. We are talking about democracies and democratic ways. Where is democracy in Trump's plan of things? From Venezuela to Greenland, to whatever is happening in the world. Where is democracy even as a cornerstone in any of these approaches?
Yeah, look, Navika, one, you can blame it all on Trump if you want to, but it's not as though the people who pretended to be Democrats in Europe or in America did not violate all these norms and, these niceties of diplomacy when their interests were at stake. So I'm really surprised. I would have actually been worried if Sanjay Jha had actually agreed with me on anything. But now I'm kind of relieved because, look, let's get it very straight. Number one, there is no morality in international relations. There never has been. It is a work of fiction. And I'm glad that Carney suddenly had an epiphany and said that what he said the other day. But that is, it really is a work of fiction. So let's not talk about morality. International relations are run on interests. Now, if the conclusion of the government and the assessment of the government is that our interests are served by joining this organization, certainly we should join it. $1 billion is, chicken feed for us. It might not be, and Raman is right. The Pakistanis will have to borrow it from somebody or beg for it. We don't. We can pay that $1 billion if we feel our interests are served. And if our interests are not served, we can beg off. Secondly, and very importantly, these people keep talking about we have been hyphenated with Pakistan. I say damn bloody good that we have been hyphenated. Because currently, our problem has been dehyphenation. What does dehyphenation mean? That the Americans will deal with the Pakistanis separately and they'll deal with us separately, right? How has that worked out for us in the last 1 year when they have dehyphenated us? I think we should want ourselves to be hyphenated with Pakistan. And if you want to do this with us, this is what we expect of you, what you should do with the Pakistanis, rather than this other way around. So this whole hyphenation thing has been taken to ridiculous.
Well, I don't know. The way things stand today, the old world order changeth, yielding place to new. What is the new? We don't know. It is a totally unknown place. And is there a constant in the world? Well, there certainly isn't. The past formations like the UN haven't really performed very well. And in the absence of reform there, is it going to give way to this new peace board? What is it going to be? Too many questions. India will have to wait, watch and weigh every step that it's take. At the moment, I think communication and anticipation of what next steps will be probably the biggest challenge for foreign policy makers. We leave it at that. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me on the Newshour tonight. Be safe, and thank you very much for joining me on the Newshour at night.